Hello, hello, hello. So Gareth Naylor here, watercolour landscape artist. So I live in Japan and I'm normally painting Japanese landscapes, but I've got a new project and I'm doing 50 paintings of Spain and the Spanish landscape. And today I'm doing this picture. So I've no idea where this is. It's I think I took this from the train, but then again the angle doesn't look like it was taken from the train. So this one I'm not sure about. But why am I painting this one? Well, if you're going to paint 50 paintings and you haven't got lots of photographs, then sometimes you get a bit desperate. And so this isn't perhaps one of the most brilliant things to make a painting from, brilliant scenes, yeah? But looking at it with sympathetic eyes, what is good about this? Well, I mean, the basic composition is good, right? We've got this path, we've got the angle, it's a nice perspective. If we put a figure here, that will work. So that's passable in terms of composition. But what I think makes this potentially a good painting, could be a good painting, is the textures on this mountain. So I know it's a kind of barren landscape, especially if you come from a very green place like I do. But still, when you look at these textures, the rocks, and then this kind of, whatever you call it, kind of bushes, and then we've got here just some loose rock, and then again more bushes here, and then again big stones, and then this stony path, and then we've got these interesting kind of bushes here. And I like it. It's subtle. The differences are fairly subtle, but they are there still, and it is interesting. So I think we can have a lot of fun with this, and I'd love to be able to capture this kind of texture. I don't think I will be able to do it in this painting, but I'm aware of it, and hopefully at some point I'm going to be able to paint something that really looks like that, because that's quite exciting. And that little kind of yellow rock there, I know it's not quite yellow, but you know what I mean. But then it becomes grey here, and you got a bit of green here, and then a kind of minty green or almost there. That's exciting. So those kind of things make this potentially a good painting, could be a good painting. So the first thing I'm going to do is the sky. Now I could do, this has gone solid. I obviously had paint on it and didn't clean it, and now it's dirtying my water. Ah, dear. Let's use another brush. Okay, so basically I've got a mop brush, and I was going to do the sky and this mountain separately, but I think we can do both. Don't have to wait for drying time. Okay, so this is cobalt blue, and yeah, there we go. That's great. Just pure cobalt blue. Okay. And perhaps it gets a little bit lighter down here, so wet that, wipe it off, and then do down here slightly lighter. Okay, and now for this mountain thing. So I've got almost no burnt sienna, but I've got the feeling that burnt sienna is the colour I need. Okay, so this is going to bleed. But I'm not too worried about that, because I'll be able to hide that later. The only thing I have to worry about is if this blue has dried out, because then I might get cauliflowers. And you don't want cauliflowers. Okay, and then I'll just paint over the figure. He's quite small, maybe too small to be honest, but there you go. We'll see. Okay, then I want my yellow ochre. Okay, so I'm going to go a bit thicker at first. Not too bad. And then, really needs to be yellow ochre up here. Where's my tissue? Okay. So, I don't know if you can see my wire. I really need to get a wireless microphone. Okay, there we go, yellow ochre there. If there'd been tiny white gaps in here, like that, I hope you can see that, there's tiny white gaps there, that would be even better. Now, can I add a tiny bit of variety in here? Just a tiny bit. So I'm getting some burnt sienna and just a few marks like that. That's good. Yeah, like it. So now we're going to do this grey path, yeah, this grey path, and has to be done delicately. And I'll probably put some colour here, but I'm not going to define the shapes too clearly yet. So, okay, a delicate grey. Maybe need to clean up here. Wow, yesterday here in Japan, it was super hot. You just wouldn't believe. I think it was 39 degrees. It was a killer. Today, it's a little bit cooler. Feels like heaven. Okay, so this is kind of lilac colour. I'm sorry, I can't turn lilac into a adjective. Lilacly. It's lilac, maybe. So I'm just trying to sound clever, aren't we all? Okay, so there we go, lilac. You can do like yellow as an adjective, can't you? Yellow, yellowy, yellowly. No, you can't. What am I trying to do? Anyway, forget about that. So let's continue. So this has to be subtle, and we can spray, although you don't really want to spray the sky because you don't want a speckled sky, but it's not that bad. And around here, and then this is where we get a bit interesting, a bit colourful. So a bit of yellow, and then shall we do a bit of this yellow ochre with a bit of this turquoise? It's actually cobalt turquoise light. Couldn't they just call it turquoise? Okay, so here we go. And then I'm going for my minty green. But they call it cobalt green. I think mint green is more accurate. Or just call it mint. We will know, right? Now, if you look here, it actually has this kind of raised bit of ground, right? It goes up there. I'm just going to ignore that because it looks a bit tricky. I might later on, I might add that, but at the moment I'm just going to ignore that because I'm not sure it's going to help. But later on I might add it or suggest it through shadows, through good use of shading. Okay. Yeah, like that. Doesn't look that exciting, but it's just a base. Okay, and then let's spray this. Now, I perhaps should have done a bit more variety of colour in this path. I should have added a tiny bit maybe of yellow ochre, or made it a little bit redder or a bit bluer. So maybe that is a mistake there. But one thing I can do to add some variety to it, and because I sprayed it, it's still quite wet, is get a little bit of this yellow ochre. Might be a bit of titanium white in this, but titanium white is good mixed with other colours, because it can soften them. And with something like this delicate path, this lilac path, you want these delicate variations within the path. Makes it exciting but not overwhelming. Okay. Yeah, so maybe that's nice. And you can even do pure water. So this is just pure water now. Ooh, got a great big blob of water there. Oh dear. And of course, in this distance, really, you're not going to get these little detailed things, because in the distance, everything becomes simpler and kind of blander, I suppose. And so to add too much detail here on this path would kind of mess up the sense of perspective. Okay, I think that's it. This is a bit of a hard edge here, so I might just soften that up. And I don't care about it being a bit, creating these little cauliflower marks here, because this is all going to be shrubbery. It's foliage, bushes and long grass. So I don't mind it being a bit, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? Not beautiful wash. I don't need a beautiful wash here. This can be quite splotchy and messy. Okay, I think that works. Wipe up little bits that you don't want with a tissue, and let's leave that to dry.